All right, gather round, people. Let's talk about Uganda. This is a land of rich history, vibrant culture, and stories that have been passed down through generations. Long before Instagram influencers and avocado toast, Uganda was vibing with its own thing. The people here were living their best lives, deeply connected to their roots and traditions. We're talking ancient kingdoms, powerful rulers, and enough history to make your head spin faster than a Beyoncé concert. Imagine bustling markets, grand ceremonies, and a sense of community that was unbreakable. First up, we had the mighty Bunyoro Kitara Empire, holding it down in the centuries before anyone knew what a hashtag was. These were times of great leaders and epic tales. These guys were the real deal. Powerful, organized, and probably really good at charades with all those kingdoms to keep track of. Their influence was vast, and their legacy unforgettable. Next up, the Buganda kingdom stepped onto the scene. They brought their own flavor to the mix, with unique traditions and a strong sense of identity. They were all about that fertile land around Lake Victoria, growing bananas and building a kingdom that would make even the most extra Instagrammer jealous. Their agricultural prowess was unmatched. But hold up, it wasn't all sunshine and banana beer. There were challenges, conflicts, and dramatic shifts in power. Kingdoms rose and fell, power shifted like sand in a desert storm, and through it all, the Ugandan people persevered, proving they were stronger than a shot of Ugandan coffee. Their resilience is a testament to their enduring spirit. And let's be real, folks, you haven't truly lived until you've tasted the magic that is Ugandan coffee. Trust me, it's life-changing. It's a small but powerful reminder of the rich culture and history that continues to thrive in Uganda today. Fast forward a few centuries and things start to get interesting. Word on the street is there's this place called Uganda, full of resources and friendly people. Enter the Europeans, stage left with their maps, compasses, and a serious case of "we discovered it, so it's ours" syndrome. First came the explorers, those adventurous souls convinced they were Indiana Jones, trekking through jungles and befriending local tribes. They wrote glowing reports back home. Uganda is amazing, the weather is fantastic, the people are friendly, and the bananas are huge. Then came the missionaries, armed with Bibles and good intentions, well, mostly. They wanted to save souls, teach Christianity, and introduce the concept of pants. Hey, nobody's perfect, right? And finally, because no good party ever ends without them, arrived the colonizers. The British, always keen on expanding their real estate portfolio, decided Uganda would look lovely painted red on the map. Just like that, Uganda became a British protectorate. Spoiler alert, things were about to get a whole lot more complicated. Life under British rule was like a bad house guest, overstayed its welcome and left a mess behind. The British, convinced they knew best, classic, got busy civilizing the Ugandans. They introduced cash crops like cotton and coffee, built railroads, mostly to transport said crops, and generally tried to make Uganda a mini-me version of England. But hey, let's give credit where credit is due. The British did introduce cricket and tea, two things that, let's be honest, make life a whole lot more bearable. Of course, this being colonialism and all, things weren't exactly peachy. The Ugandans were relegated to second-class citizens in their own country, forced to work on plantations, and denied basic rights. It wasn't exactly a picnic in the park, but the Ugandan spirit is nothing if not resilient. They resisted in their own ways through music, art, and the occasional, "Excuse me, sir, you dropped this," British Empire. Section 4. Freedom time. Well, almost. After decades of British rule, the winds of change began to blow across Africa. The sun was setting on the British Empire both literally and figuratively, and the people of Uganda were ready for their independence. They had done the heavy lifting, growing the cash crops, building the infrastructure, and even learning to appreciate cricket. It was time to take back what was rightfully theirs. In 1962, after much negotiation, protest, and probably a fair bit of tea drinking, Uganda finally gained independence. It was a time of great hope and optimism. The future was bright, and anything seemed possible. They had a new flag, a new anthem, and a whole lot of potential. Little did they know, things were about to get interesting. Section 5, From Obote to Amin. A wild ride on the independence train. Uganda's first post-independence leader was Milton Obote, a charismatic figure who promised progress and prosperity. He was seen as a beacon of hope for a newly independent nation. He started off strong, implementing policies aimed at economic growth and social development. But then things took a turn for the dramatic. Coups, counter-coups, and political maneuvering became the order of the day. The political landscape was in constant flux, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and tension. It was like watching a political thriller, except this was real life, and the stakes were incredibly high. The people of Uganda were caught in the middle of this turbulent power struggle, and then came Idi Amin, a name that would become synonymous with tyranny and fear. Oh boy, where do we even begin with Idi Amin? His rule was marked by brutality and bizarre antics. Imagine a dictator straight out of a satirical comedy, except this guy was terrifyingly real. His unpredictable behavior kept everyone on edge. He seized power in a military coup, declared himself president for life, and proceeded to rule Uganda with an iron fist and a questionable fashion sense. His eccentricity was matched only by his cruelty. Amin's reign was a dark chapter in Uganda's history. His regime was characterized by widespread human rights abuses and economic mismanagement. He expelled the Asian population, persecuted his opponents, and committed human rights abuses on a massive scale. The social fabric of the nation was torn apart. It was a time of fear, repression, and an awful lot of head-scratching from the international community. The world watched in horror as Uganda descended into chaos. But even in the darkest of times, the Ugandan spirit refused to be extinguished. The resilience of the people shone through. People whispered their dissent, resisted in subtle ways, and held on to the hope of a better future. Their quiet defiance was a testament to their enduring strength and courage. Section 6. Rebuilding a Nation, One Brick at a Time. Finally, in 1979, after years of turmoil, Idi Amin was overthrown, and Uganda could finally breathe a collective sigh of relief. But the country was in ruins, its economy shattered, its people traumatized. Rebuilding would be a long and arduous process. There were more political upheavals, more challenges to overcome, but slowly and steadily, Uganda began to heal and recover. They held free and fair elections, rebuilt their infrastructure, and worked towards reconciliation and forgiveness. It wasn't easy, but they were determined to create a better future for themselves and for generations to come. It was a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, the power of hope, and the unwavering belief in a brighter tomorrow for Each chapter has shaped the nation in profound ways, but through it all, the Ugandan spirit has endured, a testament to the strength and spirit of its people. Their traditions and community bonds remain strong, so the next time you think of Uganda, remember this. It's a nation with a rich history, a vibrant culture, and a whole lot of heart. Its festivals, dances, and museums are a window into its soul. And if you ever get the chance to visit, do yourself a favor and try the coffee. You won't regret it. Uganda's coffee is a true reflection of its land. Rich, robust, and full of character.